Hi, my name's Charlotte Owen and I'm at the moment. Our content should be framed around things that AI can't do. That really is, I think that's what makes your content singular. So I ended up here in a more unusual path compared to many American editors. I didn't study journalism at college. I studied history and English literature. Once I left college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I did a handful of media internships, Guardian and The Independent and Vogue, and Vanity Fair was one of them. And I loved it. And then I got my first job at Vanity Fair a few months later as an assistant. And I was there for nearly 7 years in a variety of different roles. And that was really where I started my career and kind of learned all the core skills. And Vanity Fair's London office is a smaller satellite operation of the New York office. And so as a result, I kind of got to see a little bit of everything. So it was great sort of exposure. And then I joined Bustle in 2018 and I've been with Bustle for 7 years. I started launching the UK arm and then I moved to America to oversee the American or global brand from January 2020, which was not a good time to move countries. Don't recommend it, but we've made it through. And then in the last 5 years, my role's kind of expanded and I now sit in the EVP role overseeing all of the sort of BDG lifestyle brands and parenting brands. In 2026, Bustle is really focused on doing only the stuff that it can do. And so we're really focused on making our brand as singular as possible. And I think that's through a few different areas. One is access. You know, we have great relationships with talent. We're really keen to tell stories that aren't being told elsewhere through interviews, through video series, One Night Stand, through many of our other sort of talent franchises. The other is through expertise. I think, you know, anyone can pick up an iPhone and try on a lipstick, but not everyone has 15 years of experience as a beauty editor, having tried 100 lipsticks this year alone. And I think that we always want to make sure that Bustle is showing that it's key authority in its key areas. And then I think we're also really keen on trying to think of ways to show up in the real world. How do we forge connection? We always talk about the Bustle reader as someone who wants to live a big life. They want lots of adventures. They want to have fun sort of trips with their girlfriends. They are going to wear their fancy shoes when they're hosting a party with their friends at home. And, you know, if they don't have a partner, they're going to take that dream honeymoon Italy trip with their friends. And, you know, we are really keen to help them live that big life and keep them informed and, you know, surprise and delight. That's what I always come back to as well. We're always focused on surprising and delighting our readers as well. Our content should be framed around things that AI can't do. That really is, I think that's what makes your content singular. It's what makes you stand out. You know, it should include, I've tried it, personal stories that AI can't generate. It should include reporting that AI can't generate. It should include access that AI can't create. And I think if you're doing those things, then you're making sure the human is always at the heart of what you do. That's not to say that we're not using AI or we're afraid of AI, but AI really is helping, I think, on the back end. It makes the sort of administrative tasks that came along with running a media brand are much more efficient with AI. I am not good at that. I sort of see travel as something to be endured, and everything is so expensive that I just buck up and put my head down and come out the other side. I don't know, I'm a good traveler in that I think I did something like 30 flights last year. I don't try and make it a very pleasant, it's just it's not pleasant. It's flying, it sucks. And going to airports, the taxis, oh my God, I get car sick in taxi journeys. I always have to, sick bag. I always carry a sick bag with me. I have friends that refuse to fly economy, and I just think it's too expensive. And so I'm always just would I have that money in my bank account, or would I endure 7 hours? And I'll just endure the 7 hours. So it's a really terrible answer, but I obviously make sure I've got my lip balm and my moisturizer and my eye mask, but it's gonna be miserable. You just gotta buck up and do it. I think as you get into your 30s, you actually realize that things that make you singular are your strengths as well, and those are your superpowers. And so I would also tell my 21-year-old self to be cognizant of that, to yes, take all the lessons, take all the learnings, mold yourself in the way that's advantageous, but also don't lose sight of the things that only you have.